to sell life insurance. He said leads. He said you got leads. I was like, so it's easy to get my license and I have leads. Cool. Then I started getting paid. And I was like, used to real estate, I would work 2, 3, 4 months on a deal. And then I would hope to get whatever I got, 6, 8, 10 grand, right? But the deal could fall through. My first day, I went out, sold the policy. And in 2 days, they paid me like 5 grand. And I was like, all right, wait a minute. It's easy because I like people. Now, listen, selling life insurance is easy unless you make it hard. If you go, I'm not a salesperson. Congratulations. We're not salespeople either. By the way, I don't know what that means. Just want to let you know, for those of you that have friends that go, I'm good in sales. Yeah, no shit. You talk to people. Congratulations. You're such an animal. We call people up that ask for life insurance and we get it to them. I outsold everybody because I worked harder than everybody. I didn't outsell them because I was a better salesperson. If you go, can you sell more than me? Yes, I can. Why? Because I'll outwork you. I'll buy more leads and I'll work harder. Sleep, I don't need much of. If it's about making money for my kids, I'm an effing animal and I'll outwork you. But it's not because I'm a good salesperson. I'm willing to talk to you. I was just recruiting a kid this morning, Diego. He's 18. And he said, what makes good salespeople in life insurance? I said, you're likable, right? He said, yes. I said, you care about people? He said, yes. I said, are you willing to be honest with them and confront them when they say something stupid like, I'm going to get back to you? Like, when? After you die? Can you say that? He's like, I can say that. I said, would you be afraid to offend people? He goes, probably. I said, good. Then say, with all due respect. Then you can say a lot of things that don't get pissed off. Are you teachable? Are you coachable? Are you likable? Yes. All right. Are you a hard worker? Yes. Then you'll be good. He said, do I need to be charismatic? I said, no, because most salespeople are fake charismatic. I outsold everybody. Everybody that I worked with used to sell cars. They told me how good of salespeople they were. They were like that loser Jordan Belfort. They're like, he's awesome. I'm like, he's going to hell. He stole everybody's money. He's going to hell. So if you want to be Jordan Belfort, go join Jordan Belfort. You want to be a super closer, go join another company. We have a bunch of really good people here that work hard to help other people. You can make really good money. You also can recruit anybody you want into the business. So let's use Diego and Desiree. They both realized they can help a lot of families. So they do that. Then they were like, wait a minute, I can build a business for my own family. Cool. So when you sell life insurance and they can make some money, you make money. And they can duplicate and replicate that as many times as they want across the board. Why do most people fail at our business? They're unwilling to get uncomfortable. They call a few people up and they get nervous and they think, what are they going to say? As I get on this Zoom, the last thing I'm thinking about, I don't like when we go to the convention next week, and I hope you all go to Dallas. It's a free event. Even if you don't know if you're going to join the company yet, come listen to David Goggins and Shannon Sharp and Barbara Cork and all those people talk. If you go, what else? Go listen to Desiree. Listen to all these people that come talk. Diego, they're great people. But go to the event. It doesn't cost you nothing. When you go to the event, you're actually going to see people just like you making money. And then you're going to realize, wow, they're not any better than me. They're not more talented than me. That's what we're putting on in Dallas. Now, why do most people fail? Because they worry what people think. When I go to Dallas next week, the only thing I won't be thinking about when I walk on stage is what do people think? There's not one point in time. How'd that happen? Why am I looking at somebody else? They go, I lost you and I got some new dude. I don't know what happened.
There you go.
So, okay, he's cool, but I was like, what happened to Diego? But so now, why most people failed in this business, Diego, is we're still caught up in what we think. My mom told me, I said, I'm going to go open a business. She said, you don't have any business. Like, she didn't say acumen. She wouldn't know what that word meant. Experience. You have no money. You need to get a job and keep a good job. I said, but if I get a job and keep a good job, I'm going to live like we live. 1-bedroom subsidized apartment. I don't want to live that way. I'm not mad at you, Mom, but you have a good job too. But we ain't got no good shit. So I want to get a real good opportunity for me. And I didn't have anybody to mentor me. So I found people. And I was a big question asker. In appointments, to my peers, to the managers, I want information. I don't care if you judge me. I don't care if you think it doesn't matter what you think. I just want to win. So we have this opportunity, Diego, that you can make money selling life insurance. You can recruit anybody you want. We have as many leads as you could possibly imagine. You build a business, so you make these overrides and you get a bonus in the company. You have renewals when the policies get to certain months, right, when they renew. And that's all amazing. It's unbelievable. But the thing I like the most about the industry, Diego, is I wanted something that couldn't be replaced. I wanted to be irreplaceable. A lot of other sales positions now are being done through AI. You can't sell life insurance that way. You need a license. Most of you guys if you buy something over the phone, you ain't even talking to a real person. Life insurance sales require a life insurance licensed individual. And it's probably going to be that way for our lifetimes. And all of y'all, even though some of you in their 20s, it's going to be that way for your lifetime. And it's the way that it works, right? Also, you want to find a product that everybody needs, not wants, needs. There are very few products that everybody needs. Like everybody needs water, but they don't need it in this can. So if the economy gets really bad, they don't have to buy still water in a can. They can go to the faucet like I used to and drink it. Get a cup, right? You need to find industries where that are staples. So I was in real estate and I thought that was one, except it did this all the time. Life insurance does this. COVID hit, we grew. Economy's bad, people are terrified about life insurance. They buy more. The economy's good, people have more money, they buy more life insurance. So it's a product that's really easy to, I call it order taking, not sales. It's a really easy product to move. So for you to scale a business and make a bunch of money, and then you look at Diego or Desiree, if either one of you doesn't make $500,000 in 24, that wouldn't be a good year based on your abilities. And then in 25, you should be your first time you've ever made $1 million in a year. And if you make $1 million in a year, most of us, we're the first person in our family to make $1 million in a year. Because most of us that find this don't come from a bunch of money. It doesn't, maybe you do. And if your mom and dad are rich, good for you. I'm happy for you, bro. But like mine weren't. So like I had to go generate my own deal. So it's a phenomenal industry. It's easy to get into. You know, I said to people, if you get your insurance license and you don't like it and you sell one policy, you make your money back and you got educated. You didn't get hurt. Nobody's asking for some big investment. Nobody says you got to buy in for 25 grand. You know, how many monthly fees for you? Just have to get leads. Now, where most people fail once they get their license, they're afraid to invest in themselves. So I had a group of guys the other day and I said, why have these other guys not started? And the guy goes, oh, we're waiting for this guy to get started and see how he does. And I go, I remember when I was 5 years old and I was like a crybaby. Actually, I said, no, I don't. I don't remember crying ever in my entire life. I guess at some point in time I did, but I didn't know I was like, I didn't know you were such a coward. Can you imagine saying out loud, I'm going to wait for somebody else to do it to see if I can do it? What a life that is. Maybe you can get married and then you can be like, I'm not really marrying you. I'm going to have my best friend. He'll marry you. Whatever he does, I'll do. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be in danger. I want to make sure he does it first. God forbid. So I think people by nature get fear sells and we buy. And I don't buy fear at all. I apologize for not being in your office today, Diego, but like the plane door wouldn't shut. And then I said to the pilot's like, why can't we take off without the plane door shutting? He's like, it would fall out. I'm like, but it fell out in Alaska Airlines and nobody died. So why can't we just fly to Seattle with one door out? Like that'd actually be pretty cool. You know what I mean? I wouldn't get like really close to get sucked out. And I'm like trying to be funny, but I'm really not. Like at the end of the day, like we got to keep it moving. So Diego, we have a phenomenal industry. We have products with Mutual of Omaha, Aetna, the companies, you name them, we got them, AIG, all household names, which is great. It's an industry that is never going to, people are always going to need life insurance, and the industry is always going to need salespeople. Family First Life is the biggest distributor of life insurance in the history of life insurance distribution. Again, Family First Life is the biggest distributor of life insurance in the history of life insurance distribution. There are insurance companies that may issue more insurance. There's no distributor, independent marketing organization, brokerage, revenue. Nobody's ever come close to doing what we do, which means we have to be the best at it. You can't argue that. I mean, like we having the most success, we're the best. We've also created a lot of 6 and 7 plus figure income earners, which is awesome. We have a system that allows you to make as much money as you want. It's not like everybody, like we have people that start with us in year one. I was talking to a guy yesterday, he's been here 18 months. I said, how much you make last month in overrides? He said 180 grand. I said, how much in sales? He said 30. I said, you'll make 2. He goes, I want to make $3 million this year. This is his second full year. There are people that have been here 10 years that don't do what he does. Like but you have the ability. It's not a seniority based thing where it's like, I have to get in at this time and then make money off of this guy. Diego, Desiree, anybody else in the team go out and make as much money as they want. So, Diego, that for those of you that are new to the industry, that's kind of and I can talk to you for hours about it if you want, but it's really that simple. I don't like to complicate it. You know, when I hear people explain, I hired the valet last night at the hotel. And I said, how long you been here? He said, 2 weeks. I said, you look strong. What you doing working here? He goes, you look strong too. I go, in a minute, I'm going to show you how strong I am. And he was kind of, and I said, why don't you sell life insurance to me, bro? Like, why do you have this job? He's like, well, you don't even know me. I go, it looks like you're smart. What were you doing before? I said, I played ball over here. I said, you went to college, played ball, and you're parking my car? Doesn't that seem weird to you? I'm going to give you $100 to park my car. These other assholes don't tip you nothing. And this is going to be your job at 23 years of age. He goes, well, how much life insurance pay? I said, one policy, $1,000. You can sell as many as you want in a day. Boom, get him, message me, boom, get him rolling, got him in a class. It's not complicated. And but it's like finding the right people. Is everybody gonna do it? Absolutely not. But I think everybody should, because I've been in every industry there is to make money. A lot of you have not. You don't want to be in as many as I was in my life, but this is by far the most productive, most profitable, and honestly, by far the most rewarding that I've been in. I also do like doing things for people. You know, I was with Pastor Matthew last night.
Definitely.
I am a believer in giving back. That is a belief of mine. I am afraid of being judged one day by God, and none of you are God. So if I didn't do well today, it doesn't matter. Like Rihanna left, she's like, I quit. Cool. Rihanna didn't like it. It's okay. But I ain't mad if Rihanna hates me. I'm just doing the best I can. It ain't my job to figure out what everybody's thinking about me all day long. Just like it's not your job to worry about what everybody's thinking about you all day long. It's the people you're supposed to provide for and making yourself happy. So if you think this makes sense for you, get your insurance license and give it a shot. Part-time, full-time. So Diego, I can ramble for hours about the company, but why don't you tell me what questions you got?
For sure. So let's say I was a good question that I wrote down. I wanted to ask you was, what are some goals that you think would be good for people? Because maybe could be a more universal approach that you take to that, different to everybody. But on your topic, what are goals? Like if I was brand new, I've never done this before. What should I go for? You know, maybe even numerical, but maybe like pushing yourself. What should be your mindset on setting goals?
I'll be honest with you, Diego. When I first got my insurance license, my goal was to make sure I wrote 5,000 hours a week. I was part-time. And I would not, no matter what I had to do in that week, Diego, if I had to call somebody I knew, somebody I played ball with, leads, I needed $5,000 that week, right? That was part-time. My other goal was that I was going to talk to at least 5 people a day about what I did. I didn't have any grandiose goal about contracting 100 of them, but I was like, I got to start with talking to 5 people a day. And I also wanted to pick people I thought were in a better position than me. Because what a lot of us do is we only talk to people we think we're doing better than. And it's like, dude, that's not really going to help you, because those, like, you're walking by talent that they might do good. But like when I got my life insurance license, Diego, I was raised poor. So, dude, I was uncomfortable going to nice houses at 36. I was 36. Like, nice home, they're having dinner together. I'm like, dude, this is wacky. Because for me, it was crazy. I liked the trailer where I had no money and I was making my sales. And I had to really kind of figure myself out, you know, really kind of go through and go, you know what? This is about serving people. It don't matter what you're used to, right? So talking to 5 people a day, I made a mission to talk to a couple people I thought would never do it every day. My biggest hire when I first started was an attorney who I thought would never do it. He's a buddy of mine. I knew him. I played ball with his brother. I mean, we were familiar with each other. So it wasn't like I was in the courthouse looking for people, but I didn't think he'd ever do it. And I just pitched him because it was like, he is a guy that won't do it. Let me talk to him. He'll ask me questions and I'll get better at talking to him about the business. And I never forget him saying, he said, you're telling me I can recruit as many people as I want. All I got to do is get their license and I make an override. And I was like, yeah. He goes, and you'll train them. I said, yes. He goes, I'm in. And I was blown away. And he recruited the world. So 5,000 a week when it started, 5 people a day, right? And then also, Diego, if you're part-time, full-time, it depends. It depends on what you're doing, right? Now, once you're moving, I think it's 10 grand a day. 10 grand a week. I think it's 10 grand a week. I think it's 5 grand a week, 5 people a day, 10 grand a week, 10 people a day. And I'm making any deeper than that, dude. And then once I'm rolling, I want to issue 30K a month. You know, I do want to contract 30 people a month. It doesn't mean that, but that was my goal. And then my goals were all 30 days. I would adjust them every 30. I wasn't like I might have the same goal over 5 months, but I knew the next 30 days what I had to do. And where a lot of people get head faked is, you know, I remember being in high school and they made us write out our 5-year plan, and I wouldn't do it. I was like, I'm not doing that. And plus, I was just asked anyway. My teacher was like, "You have to." I'm like, "Why would I have a 5? How do I know I'm gonna do in 5 years?" Like and I'm like, that's what you do to us because we're all broke. And if we have a 5-year plan, we won't think about today. And she's like, you're a smart ass. I'm like, no, I'm just smarter than you. I'm not a smart ass. I just think that's the way to keep people broke. And capitalism is actually pretty impressive if you look at the psychology behind why it works. So, I mean, I think, Diego, the only goals you should have when you start is, and mine wasn't dials. Mine wasn't presentations or appointments. I'm sorry. I needed to write so much, because what I found was the people that were doing dials or presentations or appointments, they were just pushing to that. They could be like, hey, I did 10 today. And I'm like, I know, but you didn't sell anything. And the problem is they had their goal of 10, they hit their 10, they were done. But if your goal was to write one a day, every day, you'd go until you wrote one. You just wouldn't stop. So I
And
think, for me, Diego, and again, I had a lot of very finite goals. I asked a lot of questions about our business. I wanted to learn something every day about the business. There are a lot of things I started doing. I started getting up really, really, really early and focused on my pending business. I worked more, did less stupid stuff. And the last one I'll give you, and I learned this from a guy that had been in the business when I started, and he said, I'll give you something that most people will never do. And if you can do it, like, you'll be successful. So what is that? He said that you have to take everything in your life. He goes, this is what I did. You do what you want to do. I'm just telling you, find what your goals are, your why, your North Star. He says, I started looking at everything I was doing, every person I was talking to, everything I was involved in. And if it didn't benefit my spiritual life, my family life, my business life, I wouldn't do it. So every conversation y'all have had today that didn't benefit one of those three, it was a fail. Everybody you hung out with over the last 5 days, and dude, because when you're trying to make money, you ain't got that time to do that. You can
yeah,
go do whatever you want in the future when you start making enough money to get ahead and build a business that has passive income. But right now, you ain't got that. So, or most of you don't. So, Diego, those were very simple goals I started out with, but they were
yeah.
drop dead goals, Diego. Diego, drop dead goals. I did that every week, 5 grand a week, every week for like the first 8 months. I did 10 grand a week every week for the next 4.5 years. And I never missed it one time. Not once, not one time. Then you become, the power of habit will become obsessive compulsive, almost like they call it disorder. Like if you ever hang out with me, Diego, I have OCD. My desk got nothing on it. I'll shut
Yeah.
the door 4 times. I play baseball, hit my cleats so many times. I'm wacky. Eat the same food before every game. I got issues, right? But that but I loved my OCD as it pertained to my production, my recruiting, what I was doing for activity. So, and a lot of us are very focused on something, just usually the wrong stuff, unfortunately.
And I want to unbox that. That's what I kind of thought of. As you say that, I had another question that was like, how do you hit the metrics on a low lead flow? And I think that's part of like getting creative. And we had Torian on a call before, and I thought that was, and I want to hear your perspective because I think your practice company, that's kind of all people did, and I only know leads. So I just know, if the leads don't work, just work them even harder. And honestly, it always works. So, but I think there's also another aspect of like the warm market that the other, the industry. I don't actually even know about that. But I think there's definitely that part to it that we just have skipped a little bit over, which is you could just make sales going to Walmart like left and right. And when you said what you said, which is you get 5K no matter what, it's who you surround yourself with. Like if you're at a Walmart and someone asks you something, you're like, well, am I selling you insurance or not? Could you elaborate like what it takes to do that? Because I think that's what that makes a
Yeah,
lot of sense.
yeah. I think early on, first of all, we all know so many people, right? You're not. I don't think there's a livelihood to be made in selling life insurance without leads. I don't. But I think it's a good place to start supplementing what you're doing early on. All of us right now have a finite number of people we know. Now, me, I'll call people I barely know. So I would call a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend because I wasn't afraid of rejection. And sometimes they did. They didn't call me back. They messaged me back. They didn't tell me whatever it was. So Diego, it's like I say to everybody, and I don't like take your favorite animal, your dog, your cat. But I said, you don't get to keep your dog or your cat if you don't sell 5 grand a week. You'd find a way. Like I'm not trying. Like you'd find a way. If it was like, hey, you'll be in better health if you sold, you do it. Hey, you're gonna have your kids will be better in school. You would do it. Except we don't have a fear of loss if we don't go do it. I created that fear of loss for myself, even though it may not have been like there, right? So I warm market. But also, Diego, every lead I had a warm market. So every sale I made, dude, every sale I made, Diego, first 2 years, I'd be like, hey, Diego, now that we took care of this, I need to go over some stuff. Bring your wife over. Hey, if something happens, Diego, do you think you're going to be the one that I can deal with, or you're going to be going through enough? No, it's going to be really hard on me. Cool. We're obligated. We're obligated to develop an emergency response system. I need to get 5 names of people that you think I could talk to. And dude, maybe you're not. Maybe it's a disability, an accident. Like I hear, but we have to have these. And then I would call those people up, and I'd be like, "Hey, Des, got you from Diego. He put you on his emergency response network. I need to blah, blah, blah." And I didn't try to start life insurance on the phone. I said, did somebody, I'm assuming you have life insurance, Des, right? And even if she didn't, I kept moving. Did they give you your emergency response system? They probably didn't. I'd like to set yours up. Then I would have your policies out so I can look at what you got so I can set that up for you. And they'd have their pot. And this is all face to face. You can do it over the phone or through Zoom. And then I'd go out and be like, you have this, you know what it does in 5 years, right? Or you know what this, and I would just show them. Sometimes I'm like, hey, what you have is good. You got it 4 months, go keep it. And I'd, get a referral from somebody else. So Diego, to your point, there's a lot of different ways to do this thing. Now, I will tell you this. I was never afraid to invest.
Yeah.
Every businessman and successful salesperson I know believes in themselves as far as the investment leads. When we were rolling, I remember when Steve Giordano started, he said, what would I have to do to sell $1 million a year? I said, just buy 20 grand a week in lead, or 20 grand a month in leads. Like, Diego, there was no other answer. I said, Steve, you're already selling life insurance. If you will buy $5,000 a week in leads, and you'll do 20 grand a month, you'll issue 100 grand a month. And I'm like, first year, I'm like, how'd you do it? He's like, I made 1,300,000 selling. I spent just under 300 grand in leads. I netted $1 million. Cool. Now, I say that too, Diego, because listen, when I say the 5, it's so crazy. And all of a sudden I say 500 a week. It don't seem so bad. It's do you believe in yourself? I was buying the leads on my credit card. Capital One, very little limit. I wasn't rich. I wasn't broke, but it was like I had other stuff going on. I had bills. I had people to take care of, family, the whole deal. So I really think it's one of those things where when you look at it, Diego, it's you have to do everything you have to do, and you have to feel bad. This will sound weird if you don't. The problem with most people in independent contractors, they don't have success, but then they just like it's okay. It's like it's not a big deal. I'm like, no, it isn't a big deal. No, it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's like, yeah, but you didn't sell anything this week. I know I got next week. And I don't want you to be a martyr and hate yourself and scream at yourself and talk down to yourself. But I don't want you to feel so good about not doing anything either, because you're never going to have the results you want. So Diego, there's a lot to be said for, when I sit at a gas station, because here's the deal. I've had guys that are like, hey, I've gone to the gas, like I've had people come up to the gas station trying to sell me something. And I go like, if it's a guy, I go, hey, bro, I go, hey, if you get any closer, I'm being like, I'm serious. I'm going to fucking smoke you. Excuse my language. I'm going to effing drop you, because I don't know what you're trying to do. And I'm not going to find out. So in today's world, dude, you don't go cold knocking on people's doors. You don't show up at Walmart and try to get them something. You don't go to a gas station and do that. People get shot and killed for stuff like that. People get freaking hurt. Like I wouldn't. I had a girl the other day was talking to her boyfriend, and she's like, I go door to door. I'm like, dude, she goes door to door. Like, what if like in today's world, cold knocks people door to door, no leads. And he's like, yeah, it's dangerous, right? I'm like, you think? So you got to work the leads. And again, a lot of y'all are doing over the phone. But Diego, what would be so bad about asking somebody over the phone after you sell them a policy about referrals, emergency response? The reason we don't do it is we're like, well, it might mess up my sale. Then you didn't have a sale to begin with. And once you start getting comfortable with being more aggressive, like really aggressive and appropriate, because I don't know that it's respectful to not help somebody with life insurance. Like, and I think when I made Dallas, we're like, can't believe you said that. I'm like, dude, I respect everybody. I love on everybody. I'm not mad at anybody, but I'm not going to let him not get life insurance and have his wife and kids be homeless. Why would that be respectful of me? Like, why can I not go, hey, bro, seriously, like, what's going to happen if you, I had a guy change my life, Diego. I was doing this for like 3 months. Really hardcore dude, like F-bombs every 2 seconds, mad at me, wasn't mad at me. I just sat there level headed. And I finally said, and it's funny, I finally said to him, hey man, you're really upset with me. And but let me ask you one question before I'll leave. You die tomorrow. Where do they live? That's all I want. They can't stay here. We know we've established, but forget about that. We know they can't keep the house. You tell me where they're going to live. Dude spun around, looked at me like he wanted to hit me, got tears in his eyes. He said, the only place I can afford to live is where I grew up. And I would never let my daughters grow up where I grew up. He said, what do I got to do? And it changed my life. And I was like, if I just keep pushing respectfully, he sold himself. So, Diego, I did a lot of warm market, a lot of referrals, a lot of leads. But I think most of us come limping in with like, I'm going to spend a couple $100 a week on leads and with no real lead plan, and it's not going to work. An inconsistent lead plan would be like Diego, there's never been one time in my life that I've tried to have a six pack. Never once. I've never been like, dude, I want to eat chicken every day. I want you to make my meals. And by the way, if you do, I'm not mad at any of you. I never wanted to. And so I'm not surprised I don't have one. But if I wanted to have one, I know that I have to do certain things, right? That's never been one of my goals. But in this business, my business needs to be structured that way. So I'm very structured. I don't miss. And you got to have success. If any of us today had a heart attack, went to the doctor said, stop drinking Diet Mountain Dew. I'd stop today, Diego. Today. Because he'd be like, you could die. I'd be like, I'm going to stop then. But right now, why am I drinking it? I don't know. I don't think I'm going to die, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I don't know what's going to happen. But in my business, Diego, I created that fear of loss. And you can't be afraid to talk to them. And by the way, you know what I told my friends? This is how I got to meet my friends. I was like, hey, dude, I got this job. I'm obligated to do 7 presentations to people I know to practice. So I have to get on the phone with you and practice. And they did it, you know. But to your point, Diego, it's how much do you want it?
Yeah. That's good. And Tyler, you have a question here for Shawn, right? You can just unmute on Desi's.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Shawn? Really quick question.
What up, Tyler?
What's good? What's good? Good to see you.
You, bro. You are, man. What's up?
So real quick. So somebody's listening right now. Maybe they're in another sales gig, or maybe they're with another insurance company right now. What would you tell them? Like, why FFL over another sales gig or another insurance company or even another IMO? I know you've touched on some stuff, but if you could just go into that a little bit. Appreciate you.
You got it, brother. Appreciate you. Number one, when it comes to why FFL, why not? Like, if you know that, because here's the thing you have to understand, Tyler. Yes, I know how much volume we do compared to everybody else, but you will not find higher compensation. No, you won't. Go ask them. It's the insurance company structure. Like, go find higher comp. You won't find it. I'm the only one dumb enough to pay the bonus I pay a month. I'm the only one that's that bad at math. I pay $3 million a month to the managers, another 700 grand a month to the producers in bonus money. And when you put our lead bonus in there, I send out over $4 million a month. So nobody's as dumb as me as far as here, take as much as you want, right? Because they keep it all, right? So we are very selfless in that matter. Our training's better. The men and women that train here are actually really good at sales, really good at profitability. We have all the product mix. So if you work in just final expense, you should work with us. We do final expense, do mortgage structure. We do a lot of IULs, a lot of fixed index annuities. We do everything to cover all those markets, and we're really good at training on them. We also believe in working hard. Like, most people hate the company they're at, Tyler, because the guy or girl that overrides them doesn't do anything. We don't do that here. Why? You want to know why? Tyler, what's the number one reason most people that work here choose not to stop working?
Why they choose to not stop working? Because they can't make this type of money anywhere else.
Well, why do you think they don't stop working? Like, hey, I'm making some overrides and I don't want to be lazy. I'm not going to stop. Then
I would say they got a vision.
Go ahead. Yeah, what? Okay.
I was just going to say they have a vision. They know they're in a good spot.
Because we believe in hard work. We're not lazy. I work hard. I run the company. I don't sit around nowhere. I ain't got to be in no day. I love y'all. I love you. I'll do anything you want whenever you want. Go to meeting, show up, fly there, do a Zoom, make a dial. I'll recruit you. I'll do whatever you want. I'll keep working hard. And I think that how do we get on him? Diego, what's going on up in here? What up, dude? Smile, bro. It'll be all right.
Back.
He didn't like the call. Tell him to smile, Diego. He's like mean mugging me, bro. What the hell's going on up in here? So, but it's getting people to understand that, Tyler, we have such an amazing opportunity because the way you will get paid. Yes. Also, because our volume's so big, we were able to pay, like when you look at the bonuses we pay out, yes, the carriers build products for us, which is great. You're independent here. And the last thing I would say, Tyler, outside of all of that and the way you run it in the business, the training, all the things we got, dude, you own your own business. There's nobody in the history that's done what we do, where 43 other people went ahead and said, hey, you know what? I built a business. I own it. I'd like to go ahead and see if I can sell it under that umbrella. Like, I own my business. We don't got fake stock here and fake shares. So if you work somewhere else, you should join here. So you go, my manager says I shouldn't. I'll tell you, your manager, that you should. Matter of fact, I'll recruit him too. Tell the guy that owns the company should come. I'll put him on Diego's team. Everybody should work here. Why? To the best opportunity for you to make money for your family. You go, but I've been at my company for 4 years and I'm really loyal. Why are they not loyal to you financially? I had a guy when we started that was working at an insurance company. He doesn't work there anymore. And he said, man, a lot of people are leaving and joining your company. You pay them more. And I go, yeah. I go, you'd leave your company if somebody offers you a lot more. I've been in my company 24 years. I'd never leave. It's okay. 2 years later, he calls me up. Guess what? I said, you're quitting, right? Yeah, I'm going to another insurance company. Why? For more money, better opportunity. I was like, I thought you'd never quit. You can still go to the holiday parties. It's better for your family. And you also want to have a system where you can make overrides. You can build a real business. You can have a passive income, all of the above. So, Tyler, number one, if I was in the insurance business, I'd be here for that reason. I also worked 5 years as an agency guy, as a producer, and realized what I didn't like about it. When we built Family First Life, we did the opposite. And we put the agents, the managers first with the money. Trust and believe we do that. If you're in another gig, dude, sales is sales. I'm not mad at anybody in any other gig. I just don't know anything that pay. I've done. I mean, I was in real estate. I sold cars. I was in waste management. I sold routes there. I know people have done solar. I checked that out. Pest control, all those things. Dude, I'm just timeshare. But I'm like, I want something everybody has to have that pays me really good, because I don't want to jump from thing to thing to thing to thing the rest of my life. I was looking to find one really good product, own it, love it, sell it, market it, build a business, and eventually see how much that business is worth. So I think if you're in any other sales position, you should check out life insurance no matter what. You sell mortgages, why would you not have an insurance license? You sell real estate, why would you not? Like, why would you not have the insurance license? It's the path of least resistance as it pertains to licenses. Why would you not get it and add it to what you're already doing now? I'm doing this. It's good to me in the summer. Why don't you have a license? So you can tell me. I just don't get why when we pay for the license, all you got to do is pay the state. They run your record to make sure they're not terrified of you having a license. They give you your license, a couple $100. Now you're like, what did you lose? So I think any time I look at investment, I say to myself, what's the downside? Like, what is the worst thing that can happen here, so I can look at both pictures? Everybody wants to tell me how great it will be. What's the worst thing that can happen? And when I look at the worst thing that can happen here, so I got my license in 08, I'd get my insurance license for a couple $100. And if I didn't like it, so what? Like, what was I really out? So, Tyler, that's why I think everybody should get their license and give it a shot. It pays really well. I've not sold anything that will pay me $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, and I can do it as many times as I want during the day. And I've not found another sales industry or position that has unlimited leads. We have unlimited leads. Hundreds of millions of people in America. 70% of them say they don't have enough life insurance, don't have any. I mean, I don't know, dude. A couple million licensed life insurance agents. It's like the wild, wild west. Why not do it?
Yeah, thank you. That was good. Do you guys have any more questions over there in the room? I know there's like 7 to 10 of you guys there.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask Kyle, because a lot of these people here are new, and when you talk about bonuses and how much you give so generously back to the team, can you explain to them like the capacity and how much you can give one person for a bonus? Like, what's the most you've given someone for a bonus, so these guys know with their life license they have that capacity?
So I paid 6 individual people last month over $250,000 for their bonus, for their manager bonus. I paid producer bonuses. I think 20, 25 people got $15,000 checks for the month. Producers, like extra 15 grand on top of their overrides. And then the bonuses range from $250 down to, for managers, down to $2,500 a month. My first manager bonus was $80 15 years ago. And I was like, dude, I got $80 for doing nothing. I remember I got to 1,000. So you build a business of $150,000 that you paid a month. We start bonusing you on that. You issue 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a month. Some of these guys are doing 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. We give you extra money. But Des, what we basically do is we take the pot of money that comes in, and every month we carve another piece out. Nobody does that. Nobody. I know all the companies and all the people that run them. I'm well aware. They're not many. Nobody's near our size, and you would think they'd have a better capacity to do it because they're not near as big. They're not near as infrastructure as we do, but they don't bonus like we do. We take the pot that comes in and share it. So, and we can get you a copy of the VP bonus, copy of the producer bonus. And the reason I do both those, Des, is that's what I did full time, sell and build. And I know what it felt like to know the guy, the old company I worked at. I was at an event. I'm like, you know, it's great. He has all these cars and all this cool stuff, but can I ever obtain this working here? And one of the guys that worked there for 20 years is like, no, dude, the only one that can obtain that is him because the way we're structured. There's no bonus. He keeps too much of the money. And I'm like, why would I work here? Why don't I go start a deal where we can all go do it? So that's what we're looking at. Des, and our new bonus is actually crazy focused on people like there's no seniority component. So like I was looking at a guy's bonus yesterday, and he's like, I said, your bonus will be $311,000 in March. He's been here 2 months. I mean, 2 years. 2 years. 2 years. His bonus will be $300,000 for the month. 28 years old. So we, you know, and I joke about being dumb enough to do it, but it's if you share enough and put people first, dude, people want to be in business with you. And I never wanted to like make a ton of money and have nobody else around me making money. Matter of fact, for years, more people that worked at the company made a lot more money than me, and I own it. But that, I don't know, dude. The part of that is that's how you scale a company and you work with people. So I hope that answers your question, Des.
It did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that
we
was
might
great.
have we have an agent that has a question here.
Yeah.
You can come up and just introduce yourself.
My name's Tyrell. Nice to meet you, Shawn.
What up? What up, man?
So I'm starting out. I started back in full time back in October. I had a second job, and I recently just quit that to now be fully full time. But what's something you wish you knew when you first started out, and then what would you tell yourself now?
Man, that's a great question, Terrell. I wish I knew the power of investing in my business. Like I was making money, I was paying bills, but I really didn't like. I just wasn't early on. Like when I was where you are, got my insurance license. I wish I knew the power of having. I bought leads for myself. I didn't get staff early enough. I wasn't investing into marketing. I wasn't building any social media. I just was like being a really good sales guy. Like, and it was fine, except it slowed down my ability to scale it because people around me were building it through social media. And I'm just selling, talking to some people, selling, talking to people. So I wish that I had done that earlier. That's a big mistake I made. If I could go back in time, how old are you, Terrell?
19, turning 20 in February.
19, my man. I wish I could look myself in the mirror because that when I started, I didn't believe I was a businessman. I thought I'd be a good sales guy. And if I could go back and tell myself something, it would be like, dude, you're going to run a really big business and believe in yourself as a businessman, not just as a salesperson. And I had this chip on my shoulder to be so great at sales, which I think is good. There's nothing wrong with that. But I would have recruited a lot more people earlier and I would have built the thing a lot faster. I would have quit my old company faster too. I stayed there 5 years because I was there, man. And I just didn't see myself yet. But I finally got frustrated enough, quit one day. And then I was like, damn, I'm in charge of the whole company. And then I was the most excited about business I've ever been in my entire life because it was a challenge. So I would definitely invest more. I would have invested more into myself financially, build my business brand. I would have killed it on social media. Oh my God. Recruiting, sales, I would have hammered it. And I would have, if I can go back in time, I'd have believed in myself day one. Like a lot of you start and you're trying to believe in yourself, you know, let's sell some life insurance. I'll talk to some people, but there is some magic in that posture. And if you can have the right posture and you can, you know, you assume the sale when you're selling, but you also assume the sale when you're recruiting, dude, at 19, 20 years of age, oh my God, sky is true to limit. Got to believe in you. And I wish I had gotten around. I met a lot of wealthy people after I launched Family First Life because that was when I started getting, I was like, damn, these people are no good. They don't work like they ain't better than me. I'm like, I'm as smart as them, probably smarter. I'll outwork them. Like I'm more committed. I'm less fearful. Like I'm good, dude. And I just wish I knew those characteristics a long time ago. Would have made me a good businessman. I grew into it, but I wish I'd go back and grab myself by the neck when I was in my 20s and be like, dude, you can smoke everybody. But I just didn't believe it then. And nobody was telling me that either.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Good to meet you, dude.
Yeah. Dream bigger, faster. Thank you, Shawn. I know it's been like an hour, and I just know I appreciate it. I mean,
good.
honestly. Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, if Fred, I can't wait to see you in Dallas. I hope you all come to Dallas. If you're like, man, I'm just getting started, do come to the meeting and check it out. If nothing else, go see David Goggins for free. You'd have to pay. Go see Shannon Sharp for free. Go do what you got to do. Come to the meeting. It don't cost you nothing. Just get yourself there. And there's always a lot of reasons not to go. The problem is that's why we stay broke, or we stay getting by check to check. We come up with the reasons why we can't do something instead of like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I know that's exactly why I'm going to do it. It's a commitment. It's uncomfortable. So Diego, I'm proud of you. Des, Tyler, the whole crew, love y'all. I can't wait to see you in Dallas.
Appreciate you, Shawn.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
You guys. Sorry, couldn't make it today. I apologize.
Oh, you're totally fine. We appreciate your time, Shawn. Thank you. Thanks, everyone, hopping on. Reach out to whoever invited you. See you guys soon.